Good day, guys. So today we are going to look into calculus. And before we continue, guys, I would like to encourage you guys to subscribe on our YouTube channel and also like us on our social media platforms, which is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter and TikTok. Okay. Now, so today we're going to look into calculus, and the first question we have here is determine the f of x, which is the derivative of this, using first principle. Okay. And the second one, we're also looking for the derivative of 3x squared minus 4 over x squared. And here we have got dy dx if y is equal to a squared x plus 6 root x. Now, what I want to encourage you here, a hint that I want to give you guys, is that when you are looking for f of the derivative using first principle, you must use the general rule that we always use, the simple one that you're going to be using down here. So what you need to do here is you are doing it so that you can actually have your answer direct. Because what we know is that if you are driving, let's say if it's f of x is equals to x to the power of n, and you are looking for f of x, the derivative of f of x, it's gonna be n, okay, x n minus 1. Okay, so that's what we know. So for this one here, it's a quick method to actually have your answer aside and check, compare it with the final answer that you're going to get from the first principle. So that's what you need to do. So for here, let's just do it here. So f of x, the answer that we expect here, it's gonna be 1 here. It's gonna be 1 minus 6x squared. No, 6x only, because with 2 minus 1, which is going to give us 1. Okay, so that's what we have. So this is the answer that we expect. Now, let's also look at this question here, where we are saying is 3x squared, 3x to the power 4 minus 4 over x squared. What is wrong here? Where is the problem? The problem is here. So how do you deal with this problem? How do you deal with this problem? How do you deal with this problem? When you are dealing with this problem, you are now using your exponents, rules of exponents. We know that if we have got 1 over a to the power n, this is the same as a to the power negative n, because we can't have we can't use this. And you can't use this as a denominator like this. We need to take it up there as a numerator. So what it means here, you're going to have your 4, there is going to be 4x to the power negative 2. Okay, so that's what you need to use there. So, but this one here is actually fine. But now let's look at the last one. What do you see there? What do you need to check first? When you're looking at the dy dx, you are driving this with respect to x. With respect to x, that's what you're doing. So when you're driving in respect to x, you don't need to worry about a squared. We have to leave it. But also another issue that we are seeing also here is that we are seeing something here which is a root. But what do we need to do? We need to change it again into exponent. Now, what rule are we using there? I don't know if you still remember when we have got x to the power m over n. This is the same as root of n x to the power m. So in this case here, what we have here is going to be 6x. 6 is not affected. 1 over 2. So a root on its own shows us that it's actually over 2. So it's actually, there's a 2 here, silent 2, which we don't put. But once it's become cube root, we have to indicate that it's a cube root. So if in that case there, you will have, say, 1 over 3. So in this case now, you'll be able to actually drive your solution nicely. Now let's actually do the work. Now, on the first one here, what formula do we know? We know the formula is f of x. So the derivative is equals to f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. But we are saying h must be approaching, so limit h must be approaching 0. So at some point we are saying h must approach 0. So what we need to do here, let's try to find f of x plus h. When it's f of x plus h, we are substituting x plus h wherever we have x. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, I'm just gonna reduce my pen here to take. Okay, so here it's f of x is gonna be equal to 3 x plus h squared. Okay. There, x plus h there, minus 3. Here, what are we going to have? It's x squared. What is it? Plus 2xh plus h squared. We put that in bracket. X plus h minus 3x squared. We are putting the 3 inside now. Minus 6xh. Then we are putting also the 3 there. Minus 3 3h squared. Then here we are going to group the like terms here. So what we see is that we have the h, everything is independent here. We don't have anything that we can combine. So we can just leave it like this. Now, what about the f of x? F of x plus h there, we have it. F of x is just going to be, this one here, we just take it as it is. But most of you guys, you forget to consider the negative. So let's see how we're going to put it now. So here, let's put it now and say, okay, our first derivative, we are going to say it's going to be x plus h minus 3x squared minus 6xh minus 3h squared. We're just copying what we have here. Minus. Now, minus, we're just going to put x here. Let's put it in bracket. Minus 3x squared. Okay, so always consider this negative, guys. So there you're going to have x plus h. Okay, we just forgot something there. Over h, and we are saying the limit h is approaching 0. So here, what are we going to have now? Let's have our limit h approaching 0. Here is going to be equals to x plus h minus 3x squared minus 6xh minus 3h squared minus x plus, there's a minus and a minus, going to give us plus 3x squared. Then here we will all over h. But what we see is that we are finding something common here that can cancel. So we've got negative 3x squared and positive 3x squared. We have got x here, we've got negative x here, so this can cancel out. Now, when we are done with that, we see that we're going to be left with this h minus 3 minus negative 6xh and also minus 3h squared. So here, let's also have that. So this limit, you continue with it. You continue with it along what is it? When you're solving your equation, you mustn't leave it. You must always write it there because it's part of the step. We can't just introduce it at the end. So here is what we're going to have. Now, when we have this, we are going to factor out h because here h is common. So let's see here, it's going to be h in a bracket. We take out, let's just put it there. So here, f of x. So here, saying limit h approaching 0. Then let's factor out h. It's going to be 1 minus 6x minus 3h all over h. Now, the h and h will cancel. And what we are left with here is actually 1 minus 6x. And we are saying h is approaching 0. So here, if h is going to be 0 there, it means that we're going to be left only with, what is it? So our f of x there, when our h limit h is approaching 0, it means that we're going to have 1 minus 6x minus 3, 0. Then our final answer there will be equals to 1 minus 6x. So this is what you call the derivative that we are looking for. So you can check here what I've done here. This is your answer. So it means that when you get that answer, you know that, oh, I'm in the right track. Okay, so this is how you actually check yourself. Let's go on to the next question. Now the next question here, before we continue, we need to change this, like what we said. So it means that here we're going to have our dx. What we have here is going to be 3x to the power 4 minus 4x to the power negative 2. And here, remember what we are using? We are using this principle here, that f of x, if we've got f of x equals to x to the power of n, f derivative of f of x is going to be equal to n x to the power n minus 1. So we subtract 1 there. So what we will see there is that we're going to find what we call our answer there is 4 times 3 is going to give us 12 x to the power 3. Then 4 minus 1 is 3. Then minus. Here it's not going to be minus because we're having minus times minus 4 is going to give us plus 8x. Now we have got the 3, negative 2 here, negative 2, negative 1. So here it's going to be negative 2. Let me just write this all down so that we can understand what's going on here. So here it's going to be negative 2. Okay. Times what? Negative 4 times negative 2x negative 2 minus 1. And what are we going to get there? We're going to get 12x cubed minus, it's going to be plus here, 8x to the power negative 3. Okay, so this will be your final answer. So you can even leave it as 12x cubed minus 8. Why am I saying minus now? 8 over, what is it? X cubed. Okay, now let's go on to the last part. Now, on the last part here, what we see that you need to ignore the, what is it? The a squared. A squared is just a constant. We don't need it. It's not part of what we're doing. So we're just going to remain like that. So let's say, for example, they say, okay, if maybe f of x, let's say, for example, f of x is equals to a squared plus x. Okay, so then we are looking for the derivative here. We are seeing that this is a constant. So a constant is going to be just 0. It's going to give us 0 because there is no x here. It's x, actually x to the power of 0. So if you say 0 times this, you're going to get a 0. So here it's going to just give us 1. We will be just driving what we have here. Okay. So let's come back here and see. So this is going to be, so dy dx is going to be equal to, remember what we need to do first. We still need to have our y equal to a squared x plus 6x to the power 1 over 2. Remember what I've told you in the first one, the hint, we said we must convert that. So we need to convert this into an exponent. So when you convert it in an exponent, we are having x to the power 1 over 2. Using that formula there, we said if x to the power m, if we have x to the power m over n, this is the same as root of n here. We have x to the power m. So this is what you're supposed to use when you see a root. Now, there it means that our dy dx is going to be equals to a squared, because there it's going to be 1 times, then 1 minus 1 is going to give us 0. So here it means that you are saying a times 1. Let me just do it all. Then here x 1 minus 1. Then here is going to give us plus 6 times 1 over 2. Then also x 1 over 2 minus 1. So what we'll end up having now is that it's going to be a squared, because 1 minus 1 is going to give us 0. Any number to the power 0, we know that a to the power 0 is going to give us just 1. Now here it's going to be plus 6 times 1 over 2 is going to give us 3. So 3x a half minus a 1, you're going to get a negative 1 over 2. So in this case here, we can now have something like this. We can have our answer. You can even leave our answer like that. There is no problem like that, okay? Because everything we need is there. Now, so this is the end of the class for today. For the question that we have on the calculus, this is from Eastern Cape, in September 2022. So it's Eastern Cape. You can have a look here. Eastern Cape, September 2022, paper 1, question 8. Okay. So remember, when I'm doing these questions, I try to go to actually also explain, if ever in future you get something similar, how must you do it? Okay, guys. So last time, don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel. Also like us on social media platforms. Until next time, guys. Thank you, guys.